Congratulations, you have landed that dream job interview, but that is only half a foot in the door. Now, there are no second chances to making a great first impression, right? You either knock it out of the park or you don't. But don't worry, in today's video, I'm gonna be sharing with you my top 10 interview tips to ace that interview like a pro and get that dream job of yours. Stick till the end because I may have a bonus tip for you for after the interview. I know you love bonus tips, and without further ado, let's begin. Now, I'm gonna be breaking the tips into two parts, right? The tips for the preparation of the interview and the tips for on the day of the interview itself. And let's begin with the preparation phase. The very first interview tip that I want to share with you is to stalk the company. When I say stalk the company, I mean to find out everything that you can about the company, right? Do your research on the company. You can Google about the company, read news articles about the company, visit the company's website and read it, and reading the company's social media posts. The more you know about the company, the more it helps you to be able to relate to the company. And the more it's gonna ease your nerves and help you become more confident during the interview. If you know everything about the company during the interview, it's just like speaking to a long lost friend, right? And of course, as a bonus tip, it will even be more fantastic if you know who is your interviewer and find out about that person as well. Now, on to the second interview tip for the preparation of the interview, and that is to really know about the industry or the market. Other than to know about the company that you are applying to, it is equally important to know as much as you can about the industry or the market that you're gonna be doing business in. For example, if I am applying for a real estate role in a real estate company, then I gotta keep up with the news, right? Keep up with what is the real estate trend, what is the latest government policies regarding real estate, the different real estate taxes and tax laws. And if I am applying to a tech company, then I gotta know the latest tech trends, right? What are the newest technologies? What are the newest innovations and products? You get the point. And likewise, the more you know about the industry, the more it's gonna boost your confidence during the interview. Moving on to interview preparation tip number 3, and that is to prepare for the usual questions. During any interview, the usual questions will always pop up, so you gotta anticipate and prepare beforehand, so that when it comes to the interview, you already know what to say, and you don't have to think too much on the spot. For example, tell me about yourself. For this question, do not blabber on about things that are not really super important, right? For example, your childhood, your primary school stuff, or what you like to do for fun. Be concise, right? Talk about your recent accomplishments and your recent achievements. You can talk about your strengths and why you decided to apply for this job. You can also talk about your passions and your expertise and how your skills can contribute to the company. Another example, right? Why did you choose our company? For this question, that is why it is crucial for you to research on the company, right? You can't possibly be saying, oh, I just sent out a bunch of different applications and your company just happens to be one of them. Another common question, why did you leave your previous company? Pro tip for this question, never speak negatively about your previous employer, because that will just show how negative you are as a person. How would they know that if you leave their company in the future that you won't badmouth them as well? You can just talk about how it wasn't the right fit, or you are looking for new opportunities and new challenges. Another common question, what are your strengths and your weaknesses? For strengths, we all know about how to talk about our strengths, right? But for weaknesses, the interviewer is really trying to see if you are self-aware enough or humble enough to recognize your own weaknesses, because everybody has weaknesses. The pro tip here is to not give a strength disguised as a weakness to impress the interviewer. I know a lot of us love to do it, right? Oh, my weakness is just that I'm just too hardworking and I don't know how to take a break. Give an actual weakness, right? And state how you acknowledge the weakness, but you're also trying your best to overcome the weakness. For example, I myself, I'm not the fastest when learning new things. If something is completely new to me, I tend to be quite slow in, trying to comprehend and understand it. But I am also the kind of person that is not afraid of hard work and putting in the extra hours if I need to pick up a new skill. Of course, that is just my answer. You don't have to copy mine. Really prepare your own answers that are truthful to yourself. Other interview examples, what do you know about the industry and what do you know about the market? Talk about the latest trends and what do you think of them? Tell me about a time where you're faced with difficulty and how you overcome it. These are just some of the most common questions that an interviewer may ask you. I can go on and on and on, but this is not the point of this video. The point is you can easily Google what are the most common interview questions about your industry, find out what are the industry specific interview questions that they may ask, and really just prepare for as many questions as you can. Okay, now on to interview preparation tip number 4, and that is to prepare for questions to ask. At the end of each interview, the interviewer will typically ask you if you have any questions for them. And it would be great if you have questions prepared for them as well, right? It shows your interest and it shows that you are serious about working in that company. You can ask them, for example, what would be a day in the life of this role or this company look like? Or you could ask, how would you describe the characteristics of someone who would excel in this company or in this role? And of course, try to come up with your own questions that you are really interested in finding out. That also shows your interest in working in the company. Okay, now on to interview tip number 5, and now we are getting into what you need to take note of on the interview day itself. So tip number 5 is to bring your portfolio. Bring a laptop. Be prepared to showcase and talk about your portfolio, right? Or your past work or your past projects that you have done in your school or in your internship. So it will be really helpful if you bring your portfolio or your laptop, which has everything inside. Moving on to interview tip number 6, it is all about dressing for the occasion. I did a video on specifically what to wear to a job interview, whether it is a startup, it is a traditional company, IT company, engineering, business, everything that you need to know, link down below if you want to check it out. But basically, it will be very helpful if you can find out about what is the dress code of the company that you are applying to. And then for the interview, you just dress one notch above what the usual dress code is for the company. For example, if they wear a t-shirt and jeans, wear a polo shirt. If they wear a polo shirt and chinos, wear a dress shirt. If they wear dress shirts and dress pants, then throw on a blazer or put on a tie. It shows that you take the interview seriously. Moving on to interview tip number 7, and that is to be well groomed, which means to make sure that your face is clean, make sure that you are clean shaven, make sure your hair is neat and tidy, have a fresh haircut if you need. Just look your best and be presentable. Oh yes, also make sure that you shower, right? Make sure that you smell nice. Moving on to interview tip number 8, and that is be early. Plan your route to the company ahead of time, right? Arrive at least about 10 to 15 minutes early so that you won't panic, right? You won't get nervous that you're running late. And it shows that you are a punctual person. And who doesn't like punctual people working for them? On to interview tip number 9, and that is to treat everyone that you come across with respect. Be it the security, the janitor, the receptionist, the front desk staff, or even the person taking the minutes during your interview. Give everyone eye contact, right? Greet them with a smile. Treat everyone as if they are the hiring manager. Your potential employer may ask them for their feedback. And don't just do it because you want to appear nice, right? Do it because you're genuinely a nice person. Okay, now moving on to interview tip number 10, and that is don't be desperate. Go into the job interview with the mindset that you want the job, but you don't need the job. It's kinda like dating, right? The more desperate you seem, the more you're gonna push the girl away, right? Or in this case, push the employer away. So you don't want to try to hard sell yourself or boast about yourself, trying to plead with the employer to hire you. And ideally, this company, it is not your only option, right? And if you don't get hired, it is not the end of the world. Treat the interview as a process for yourself to know if the company is right for you. And with this abundance mindset, it's gonna ease your nerves and make you more relaxed. And it may end up even increasing your chance of getting hired. Okay, now last but not least, the promised bonus tip. This tip is for after your interview. Remember to thank all your interviewers for taking the time to interview you, right? Also, ask them about what is next. You can either ask the interviewer directly or your hiring manager or the human resources from the company. Ask them what you should expect next. Like, when will the outcome be notified? Whether there will be additional rounds of interviews or other additional requirements or documents that you need to provide. This will give you a rough timeline of how long you should wait for them or when you should move on to your next application if this interview fell through, so that you won't get too caught up with this application and wait for nothing. That is it for today's video. If you love these tips, make sure to smash that thumbs up button to let me know, yo Evan, awesome stuff, man. Remember to subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you haven't done so already. Have a great day, y'all, and I'll see every single one of you in my next video. Bye.